Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this super kawaii and delicious strawberry cake. So I actually made this cake specifically for my cousin who turned 16 this year. She actually loved it, which made me so happy. So yes, I really recommend you guys to make this cake for any occasion really, for a birthday like I did or for any occasion. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Do is mix your egg yolks and your sugar very well together until it looks kind of like a light pale yellow. The next thing you want to do is then add your oil, your olive oil or vegetable oil, and your vanilla extract. Once that is very well mixed, you then want to sift in your cake flour. So now what you want to do is in a bowl, you want to add your egg whites and your cream of tartar. Now the cream of tartar is basically, I believe it's kind of like an acid. I think you can also use some lemon, just a little bit of lemon put it on the bowl. And I believe an acid is really good to make sure that you achieve a really nice meringue. So what you want to do is simply beat it, and once you start seeing like a little bit of bubbles and it looks a little bit white, then you can start adding your sugar little by little. So now once you've added all of the sugar, you're basically going to mix it until you reach stiff peaks. Once it reaches stiff peaks, it should look really nice and glossy and have almost like a little hook when you pick it up. Now you're going to have two bowls. You're going to have your meringue and then you're going to have your egg yolk mixture. So basically what you're going to do now is simply add your meringue in parts. So little by little, you're going to add a little bit of the egg white into the egg yolk batter. And you're simply going to do, I believe it's called the folding method. You basically go around the bowl and then in the center, through the center. And then you're basically going to do this until you have no more meringue left. So now you're left with this really nice, almost like a pale yellow, fluffy kind of batter. So now what you're going to do is simply separate all of the batter into 4 pans. Now I have these really cute heart-shaped pans that I got from Daiso. You can obviously use any pan that you have. So now once you've done that, you can then bake your cakes in an oven of 325 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes. The next thing we're going to do is our delicious strawberry whipped cream. In a saucepan, you want to add your strawberry puree, your sugar, and your squeeze of lemon juice. Then you want to basically cook it on medium heat until it boils and until the sugar is very well dissolved into the strawberry puree. In this step, what you can do is put maybe 1 or 2 packets of gelatin powder dissolved in water. This is going to help to make sure that when we make the whipped cream, it isn't too runny, because that is an issue that I noticed when I made mine. I didn't add any gelatin powder, so the strawberry puree, when I mixed it in with the whipped cream, it made the whipped cream be like too runny. So when we make cakes, it's really important that the whipped cream is nice and like fluffy, because if not, it's going to be hard to decorate, especially on the sides, because you're going to be, you know, decorating, but if it just falls, it's going to basically be like impossible. So what I really recommend is to get some gelatin packets and then dissolve the powder in water. You want to heat it up, take it out, and then put it in the refrigerator, and then again you want to put it in the microwave to heat it up, and then you want to add it into the strawberry puree. Now this is something that I didn't do, which was a mistake. I should have done it, but I didn't. But now you guys can learn from my mistake and make sure to do that. So the next thing you want to do is then mix your heavy cream until it's nice and fluffy. So now what you want to do is simply pour your strawberry puree that has been completely cold into your whipped cream, and you simply want to just fold it in. So now you're gonna have this super delicious strawberry whipped cream, and you can taste it to make sure that it has like a good flavor. If you want more sugar, you can, or you don't have to. I just left it that way, and I thought it was really good. But once again, you can just add more sugar depending on your preference. So now we're gonna move on to our macarons. So I'm gonna be making some really cute heart-shaped macarons because our cake is also heart-shaped, so I guess it's like a pink kind of heart-shaped decoration. In a bowl, you want to sift your powdered sugar and your almond flour together. Then you want to mix it until it's very well combined. Now we're going to move on to our meringue. Now meringue is extremely important when making your macarons. So what I recommend you guys to do is age your egg whites. Now if you decide, you know what, I just want to make it today, which is actually what I did. I just did it that day, so I didn't age my egg whites. I do recommend you do it, but if you don't, the next important thing to do is to make sure that your eggs are at least at room temperature. So if you can age them, at least make sure that they're room temperature, because that is gonna really help you achieve a really nice meringue, which in the end is gonna give you a really nice macaron. So what you can do is basically leave your eggs outside until they reach room temperature. But if you're gonna make them like soon, something that you can actually do is simply get a bowl with room temperature water, and then you can add your eggs inside until they reach that temperature, room temperature, and then you can use them. Make sure they're dry, because when you make meringue, you want to make sure that the bowl or the egg doesn't have any moisture at all, like any water. So then what you're going to do is mix in your cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is basically an acid, like I said before. You can use lemon because it's also like an acid. It's basically going to help you achieve a really nice meringue. So now you want to start adding your sugar little by little. You can follow the same steps I told you for the meringue for the cake. So basically you add your cream of tartar, you're going to mix it until you see a little bit of bubbles and it starts looking white. And once it looks like that, you're going to want to start adding your sugar little by little. And once there's no more sugar, you're going to simply mix it until it gets nice and fluffy. You can add whatever kind of color, like kind of food coloring that you like. I added pink because the whole theme of this cake is strawberries and pink. Now you're basically going to mix until you reach your stiff peaks. So next thing you want to do is now sift in your almond and powdered sugar mixture into your meringue. You're basically going to sift it all into the bowl. And then what you're going to start doing is the process called macaronage. So basically what I did is I basically went around in the sides and then went through the center. I feel like I basically did the same thing I did for the rolled cake when I mixed in the meringue to the egg yolk mixture. So it's basically kind of the same thing. Something that's a little bit different though is what I did is I kind of like, I guess I pressed the spatula like on the side, so I kind of moved the batter on the side. It's kind of hard to explain, but you can just basically see what I'm doing. And you basically want to mix it until when you pick up the spatula, it kind of drops and it looks kind of like ribbons of lava. That's what people usually describe it as. So now what you want to do is pipe your really adorable heart-shaped macarons. So what I did to make sure I have like the perfect and exact same shape of heart, what I did is I actually made my own kind of template. I got a heart-shaped cookie cutter and I kind of drew it in a piece of paper. Then I put it under my parchment paper. Now I'm not using parchment paper, I'm actually using a silk packed mat that I got from like Amazon, but you can use parchment paper and it'll work just fine. The next thing you want to do is actually really important. What you want to do is basically leave your macarons to basically rest. It can take from 30 minutes to an hour, but usually what helps you determine like if it's already time is basically touching the actual macarons. And when you touch the macarons, it shouldn't be sticky and it shouldn't stick to your finger. So basically what you want to do is just touch the top of the macaron, and it should be, you should kind of create like a dry layer so it shouldn't stick to your finger. And once that happens, you know it's ready to be baked. So now you want to bake your macarons in an oven of 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 15 minutes. Mine actually took the whole 15 minutes long, but I do recommend to check your oven to make sure that your macarons are ready because each oven can differ. Once your macarons are done baking, what you want to do is move them out of the pan so they stop baking. You want to place them like on the table. Once we have all of our pieces, you can start decorating and assembling our delicious cake. Now I absolutely love this step. I love to decorate the cakes and see how everything kind of assembles and comes together. So what you want to do is basically cut some strawberries, and you want to make your sugar syrup. Now the sugar syrup is actually quite simple. In a saucepan, what you want to do is add the same amount of water and the same amount of sugar into a saucepan and boil it to make sure that the sugar is very well mixed into the water. There we go, you have your sugar syrup. So now what you want to do is get one of the heart-shaped cakes, and I'm going to put it, I believe it's called the Lacy Suzanne, so it just makes it a lot easier to decorate the cake because you can just move it. So yes, so basically I added my one of the cakes, and then what I did is added some sugar syrup, and then I added my strawberry whipped cream, did like a little layer, and then I added my cut strawberry. So you're basically going to repeat this process until you get to the top. Then when I got to the top, basically I added, again, some strawberry whipped cream. Now I actually was initially planning to decorate the whole cake, cover it all. It wasn't supposed to be like a naked cake, but it ended up being that way because, like I said before, my whipped cream was pretty runny because I didn't add any gelatin powder, and also because I added a lot of strawberry puree. So what you can do is add either less strawberry puree or add the gelatin. So basically, it's up to what you want to do. But I really recommend just to add the gelatin powder, because that way it's going to make sure that you have the same strawberry color and strawberry flavor. Basically what I ended up doing is just decorating the top of the cake. I covered it with the strawberry whipped cream, and the sides I just covered it a little bit, so it basically looked like a naked cake. Then what I did, I actually did have some whipped cream that was already whipped from a previous cake that I had made. So I used a little bit of white whipped cream, and I did this really nice kind of swirl. I'm not sure the name of the tip, but it's a tip that looks kind of like a little water droplet. So it's like small at the top, and then at the bottom it gets bigger. So it's like a little droplet, and basically I did the kind of like swirly motion, and then I added some strawberries and some of my macaron. As you can see, I added first 3 macarons, but I thought it would just be cuter if it was just one bigger one and then one smaller one. But you can play around. I think this is the funnest part because you get to kind of customize it and make it your own, look at it and basically make it your style. I like to express myself through my desserts, so you can do the same when you make this cake or any dessert. So I love the way that it turned out. It looks super cute and it tastes delicious. My cousin and my family all love the cake, so I was really happy. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and like if you like this video. Please make sure to follow me in all of my social media accounts that I will leave there for you. Now if you have any special requests or any special videos that you'd like me to make, please let me know on the comments down below. And as always, happy baking! Bye guys!